I have done NoFap for 1,228 days straight, meaning that I've been clean from PMO for 3 years. On YouTube, there are usually two types of NoFap videos. The first type is that NoFap gave me godlike powers, women chase me now, and everything is perfect. The second type is that NoFap is nonsense, it does nothing, and you should just enjoy and live life. I want to answer a very simple question. Is NoFap actually worth it, or is it just hype? This video could technically be one sentence long because the answer is this. Of course it is worth it to stop locking yourself in a room, watching people do it on a screen and beating your meat like you're a little monkey in a lab. But I don't just want to make a video where I yell NoFap good and corn is bad for 10 minutes straight. I want to give you a realistic picture of what actually changes when you do NoFap. What gets better, what doesn't, and what you should honestly expect when you do this for yourself. But before we go deeper, I need to give you a little bit of context, because where you come from with this behavior matters a lot for what will happen when you stop. My own story with PMO was heavy. I was doing it multiple times a day, every single day for 10 plus years. But the most important part is this. I was still functional. I studied, I worked, I had friends, I had relationships, I trained hard, and I pushed myself in different areas of life. But at the same time, it did take a toll. I had mood swings, I had a low sense of social anxiety, I was more impulsive than I should have been, and I had a problem with delaying gratification. My baseline patience was overall lower, and I made some poor decisions that were clearly influenced by the addiction. So even though I had some bad attributes, I did have good ones too. Both things were true at the same time. And that matters because NoFap doesn't affect everyone the same way. How powerful it feels when you stop depends on how you were using, how long you were using, and who you already were underneath it all. If you used PMO occasionally, then stopping will still help, but it might not feel as life-changing if you used heavily like I did. Stopping can feel like removing a weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. That brings me to part 1. PMO is a limiter. PMO is a hyper-stimulating activity. Over time, it will desensitize you to normal life. This is common knowledge. Things that should feel engaging starts feeling dull. And also, things that require effort starts feeling harder than they should. Hard work feels harder, delaying gratification feels harder, and even conversations are affected because it becomes harder to stay present, to listen attentively, and just stay patient in the conversation. And the reason for that is because your nervous system is used now to constant stimulation. But here's a very important part. You can still be competent. You can still succeed, you can still excel in certain areas of life, even while heavily addicted. And the way I see it is that it's possible to run a marathon while being a chain smoker, but it would be easier if you weren't. In other words, PMO limits your potential. An example from my life is that I used to be a sponsored bodybuilder. I trained really hard, I had discipline in that domain, and I looked the part. But where PMO limited me was in what I didn't do. At the time, the fitness YouTube space was just starting to explode. I was aware of the opportunity, I had the knowledge, I had the physique, but I didn't dare to put myself in front of the camera and start something of my own. And every time I even had the thought of starting and pushing myself outside of this comfort zone, my system would just reject it because I was already satisfied, I was already getting my stimulation, and I simply didn't have the mental mindfulness to navigate past that limitation. So yeah, I didn't start that channel, not because I lacked the ability to, but because my behavior was quietly taxing my confidence, presence, and consistency. And just a quick side note, if you've been struggling to quit PMO, I've made an app and a website that can help you with that. Check the link in the description below. Now, part 2, NoFap is an enhancer. This is where most people get it wrong. NoFap is not a magical cure that installs charisma, confidence, discipline, and purpose in you. If you're someone who is severely socially anxious, then NoFap won't turn you into a Chad that demands respect every time he walks into a room. What NoFap actually does is to remove the limiter. It opens the gates. And removing the limiter doesn't mean that nothing happens. It means that whatever was already there can finally express itself. If you already had the capacity to speak well, then you will speak way better. If you already trained hard, then you will train harder. If you already had ambition, then you will feel it more clearly. And even if you were just decent at something, then NoFap will still enhance that. NoFap doesn't give you new traits, it enhances the ones you're willing to use. And this is where responsibility comes in. You are still the one that needs to take action. You don't go from having no direction in life to now working on your life's mission just because you stopped PMOing. What NoFap does is to clear the fog. It removes the mental noise, the distractions, and the internal friction. You start seeing things more clearly, but clarity without action, it does nothing. Your feet still has to move towards the goal. That means that NoFap can open the door to massive self-improvement, but you still have to be the one who takes action. When you stop frying your brain and leaking your attention everywhere, you create space to become more mindful, more reflective, and more intentional. You might realize that you want better social skills, you might realize that you want better structure in life, and you might realize that you want to aim higher. And if you choose to act on that, then NoFap will enhance that process. But I can't emphasize this enough. Walking the path is still your responsibility. And this is where most people fall short. They expect that because they're doing NoFap, semen retention, holding streaks, that things will just magically start to happen for them. I once had a guy ask me, "On what day will I start making more money?" And I was like, bro, what? You don't magically double your income because you hit day 90. You have to take action towards it. Early in my journey, I once had an important work presentation. I thought that since I was on a long streak, that I would automatically be more charismatic and confident. I wasn't. I face-planted that presentation because I simply wasn't prepared properly. On the other hand, there has been times where I had binged relapse the day before, but since I had prepared and taken action, the presentation went very well. Now mind you that it would have went better if I were clean on this streak, but this goes to show you the power of action. That's the entire point. Stopping PMO removes the thing that is limiting you. Taking action with the clarity and energy you regain is what actually changes your life significantly. If you expect the streak itself to build your life for you, you'll be disappointed. And that's the honest truth about NoFap in my experience. So was NoFap worth it? For me, absolutely yes. Not because it magically fixed my life, but because it removed the thing that was quietly holding me back from using the strengths that I already have, and it allowed me to enhance those and also pursue new attributes and strengths. So I would advise everyone to go on this journey. There are deeper spiritual, philosophical, and even practical advantages to this practice, but I'll save those for another video. Either way guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.